rock bottom, 0 wins, dead last in the Premier League. And after that transfer window, yeah, someone's got to step in, haven't they? So I've taken over Wolves, the relegation favourites, and I'm rebuilding this club from the ground up. 5 years, one mission. Turn Wolves from survival scrappers into Premier League champions. And we're doing it using one of my best 4-3-3 tactics of the year. Fast, aggressive, and fearless. No excuses, no safety nets, just tactics, transfers, and pure football manager madness. This is Wolves getting the ultimate rebuild. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. As always, the save file and tactics used today will be up my Patreon right away, where there is currently 25% off. So make sure you go and check it out because there is a lot of content over there. I'll pop a little thing up on here where you can see all the perks later on in the video. There's over 17 perks. There's about 9 to 10 pieces of exclusive content a week. So make sure you go and check it out. Let's begin this big challenge. So then, let's talk about Wolves and actually let's understand what I've got myself into, because I don't know what's going on at this club. I mean, they've not won a single game at the time of recording. They're obviously rock bottom of the Premier League, and they are in an absolute mess. Now, I'll be honest, their transfer business has been shocking. It's actually been quite painful to watch, to be honest with you. But a little bit about this club, of course, because they are a club that have got a lot going for them in terms of facilities. They've got an immaculate stadium. They've got a perfect pitch, excellent training facilities, excellent youth facilities. They are a really, really, really big club with quite a nice stadium, in my opinion. Now, when you look at the actual club, they have won 3 Premier Leagues. They have won 4 FA Cups. They have won 4 championships, 2 EFL Cups, 2 EFL League Ones, 4 Community Shield, a Sky Bet League 2, a club founded in 1877. They're a team that have got a lot of history. That is just how it is. Now, of course, present manager Vitor Pereira, I'm going to step in now and really take those reins and hopefully change this team a little bit, but they're nowhere near where they need to be. They are literally, by quite some distance, the worst team in the Premier League. Now, of course, when I come into this club, there's a lot of things we've got to take into account. So we are going to be playing in a few competitions. The Premier League, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, or the EFL Cup, whatever you want to say. And I sit here right now, and I've got my goal set. I'm going to be here for 5 years. Whatever happens, I'll be here for 5 years this video, and I want to make sure I try and win a Premier League. But it's not going to be easy, this, because there is so much that can go wrong. For example, we could get relegated. Secondly, we can build up a squad, then players get poached. Then we've got to build up another squad. There's going to be a lot of that going on, and you know, you look at the Premier League and, well, obviously it's alphabetical at the moment, but we are literally, we're rock bottom. We are not that team. Now, looking at it, we go to the Premier League, we can actually go look at the season preview, and we are going to be predicted to finish in 15th place, which, do you know what, for season 1, as long as I actually stay up, I'm going to be more than happy, because it is a big challenge that I'm trying to do, and I'm fully aware of that. It's not an easy task. Now, when we actually go and look at this Dream 11, of course, we have not got a single player in this sort of, well, in the graph, in the graphic, whatever you want to say. I really want to try at the end of this video to at least have 3 players in this Media Dream 11. A bit of a niche goal, but I really want to try and obviously make that happen, because then we know we are going to have a good squad. Now, speaking of squad, we'll look at the tactics in a second, but yeah, let's understand about the squad. So, contract-wise, we are going to have a few people that have got contracts coming up. We are going to have Nigel, who's obviously out on loan. We've got Ty Barnett, Matt Doherty, and also Finn Ashworth. All 4 of those players can leave. I will not be offering them contracts. I'll be transfer listing them from this second. If they go for money, they go for money. If they don't, they'll go on the free. Looking at the next batch of players, obviously the 2027 batch, you've got King Jana, I'll offer him a contract. Daniel Bentley, he can go. Jose Sarr, obviously a contract. Mane, contract. Min can go. Temple can go. Sasa, I will keep, because for a striker option to have, he's not awful, and I think he will be quite good for this team. And then, obviously, the contract situation, we're okay for a few years. But we look at this team, it's not as bad as what we had at Napoli, for example, but we have got a lot of players that are on the older side. You know, if you look at the players in the 30s, you've got 4 players there. You know, luckily, 3 of them are goalkeepers, so worst case scenario, it's only one position that I've really got to worry about. And as for Matt Doherty, his time is up, you know. He's an older player, not really going to get much game time past the first couple of seasons because he won't be at the club. Now, other than that, of course, looking at the tactics, how I'm going to line up, and again, at any part of this video, you want to grab all of these cool perks. It will include all my year's tactics, all my rebuild files, set pieces, train and console tactics, mobile tactics, tactical help, ad-free viewing, big giveaways, and still believe it, so much more. Make sure you go and check out the Patreon because there is 25% off, and there is absolutely tons of you guys enjoying it. And I also like to set you guys some pretty cool challenge save files, so make sure you go and check it out. Now, I've decided to load in my defensive version of the beta 433 just for the couple of seasons until I can look at my team and say, ooh, do you know what? I think we can be competitive, and we are nowhere near that yet. Now, the tactic, you know, is a bog standard 433, but it's very good inside the match engine, and it's going to be good for us because we sort of defend in that free block, and that's really, really vital for me personally, because obviously we are going to be a weak team in the Premier League. You know, we're predicted to finish in 15th. Some would argue lower. So defending in that quite deep way is actually really important. Now, going forward, I'll make sure I have got my best 11 locked and loaded, which now we do. We are going to have the big man up front in Strand Larsen. Now, he's a decent striker. I want to give him a chance to prove himself in this team and really prove himself to me as a coach, because he's not my usual go-to choice, but in Season 1, I'm not going to go and sign anybody. I don't even know what the money's actually looking like, so we would have 30 million to go and spend. I don't know if we can adjust any of that and get more. Yeah, about 35 million then, roughly. But I don't really want to go and sign any people because I've already signed a lot of players that, to be honest, I don't like, but I'll use them to see if we can stay up with their current team. Now, on the wings, you are going to have Arias, a bit of a unique player to have at Wolves. He's not actually awful, but he's also not great. Now, he's probably a lot better in the game than what he is in real life, in my opinion. So I'm not saying between him and also Hwang Hee-chan, obviously former Leipzig man, I do think our wingers potentially can keep us up. Now, you might slate me for that, especially if you're a Wolves fan, but in this game, I think they're good enough to make that happen. The midfield, I actually don't hate. I like João Gomez. I think he'll be a nightmare to try and convince to stay at the club, but fingers crossed he does, because he is a really, really, really positive player. The likes of Bellegarde, I really hope I can keep. I don't think he's world class, but, you know, 27 years of age, he's going to be with me for a couple of years before he does obviously get outperformed and replaced naturally. And deeper in that midfield, Andre, obviously a really good Brazilian player, good tackling, good passing, good marking, good first touch, good work rate, good vision, good teamwork, good stamina. He is a really, really good option to have in that deep part of midfield. The back line, I don't like. I don't like the back line at all. The right back scares me. I think he's going to get absolutely butchered by any competitive winger in the Premier League. The left back, I don't hate. I don't love. He's decent. He's definitely good enough to sort of get you way above the relegation drop. Let's not insult the guy, man. He's good enough to sort of get you into maybe like the top 6, potentially top 4. If the team around him's really, really good. The centre-back on loan on the left-hand side, he looks quite good. He's got good work rate, good stamina. Not the quickest, but he's got good heading, good tackling, a bit of a slower player. And next to him, we have got a player who, again, isn't that quick. And this is going to be a permanent player in Agabu. Oh my god, let me get this right. Agbadu. I want to make sure I get these names right. Agbadu. None of our centre-backs are really that quick, so that is a bit of a worry. And obviously this man in goal, a few years ago, United fans wanted him. Jose Sarr, really, really good goalkeeper. He is 32 years of age, so, you know, not too much left of him. We've got Johnston, we've got Totti. Obviously, this is another player who's a bit quicker, who can play centre-back, so actually favours that overlapping centre-back role. He could be an option that we do play for a little bit of pace at the back. We've got Sasa, Gomez, Bueno, Matesi, we've got Bueno, we've got Mascara, obviously another player who's got a little bit more pace. So we have got options at centre-back, to be honest with you. They're not world-class, and the actual squad is quite small of the players that I'd actually class as, you know, really, really usable and players that I would encourage myself to use. So we have got our weaknesses, but I mean, the tactic is going to help us out here. You know, we're playing with a mid-block, a standard line. We're not going too crazy at all. We go, for example, to the actual, you know, all instructions here. We are playing some short passing. we're discouraging dribbling, we're being more disciplined. I basically just want to go into these games with a very sensible approach. Don't go too crazy, understand what we've actually got to do, because it's not going to be an easy season. And yeah, we're going to start off season 1 with friendlies against Forfar Athletic, Spartans, Falkirk, Autak, Ibiza, and then we go right into the Premier League against City, Bournemouth and Everton in that first month. So, to be honest, out of these games where we can pick up Premier League points, I would take 3 points from these 3 games. We won't beat City, Bournemouth are a nightmare team to play, and Everton, that's me banking on beating them, who are going to be around where we're going to be predicted. So, we actually go back and have a quick gander at that, actually, the Premier League, and we go to the season preview. The teams that we should be beating need to be the teams below us. So Everton, West Ham, Leeds, Sunderland, Burnley, and then ideally getting points against, and it can be a point, against Brentford, Fulham, your Bournemouths, your Palaces, your Forests. I'm not even looking at the top 10 or the top 9. That is what it is. But that's what we've got to do. Let's see what we can do in big season 1 with this Wolves team. Leave a like on the video, unsubscribe, whack the bell on, and honestly, pray for me. We're gonna need it. Well, we're right into season 1, and I'm gonna just take you through a batch of results here in the Premier League to understand what might have just happened. So, yeah, this was all, by the way, in pretty much back-to-back games. So, Aston Villa, Liverpool, Brentford we do win, but look at this. Hang on. Loss, 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 loss. I am petrified to click on the league table. This honestly may have gone horrifically bad. Now, one sort of weird save and grace, and it is not something that we're going to brag about if we've been relegated, is getting to the final of the Carabao Cup. Now, we do lose 3-1 against Arsenal, but to get there, we actually beat Tottenham 6-3. The quarterfinals, we beat Sunderland. The 4th round, we beat Forest. The 3rd round, we beat United. So we can beat some of these big teams. But to be honest with you, this will, well, it means nothing anyway. It's only a final appearance. But if we have been relegated, I'm going to regret even showing you this, because it's like, why even bother? And as for the FA Cup, it's nowhere near as good. It is going to be, I believe, a 5th round exit. It is, we lose to Arsenal on penalties, who actually go and lose the final against Nottingham Forest, which, you know, sums up they might have been performing quite above their sort of predicted stage. Now, the big question is, how did we do in the Premier League? What did we do in the Premier League? And are we still in the Premier League? That I do not know. Let's go and find out. Well, we do stay in the Premier League and we finish in 7th place. So we are going to get some sort of European football. And despite a very, very iffy schedule on that calendar, which I will show you because it was very up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, we have stayed up. Now, teams around us, it was so close. I mean, you know, you've got Man United finished below us, but they're only 3 points behind. Brighton 3 points behind. Newcastle 2 points behind. But you could also flip the script and say we were only 2 points off getting in the top 6. So it was a very close Premier League season. Now, we don't do well in terms of stats when you come to your goal scorers, your team stats. We didn't do that well. But we stay up in the Premier League. And you know what? I'm going to take it. As we look at this schedule right now, you can see it goes from green to red to green and orange to a batch of green. Then we sort of hit the famous FM mid-season slump, which goes all the way through to the end. And yeah, I don't really know how we have stayed up, but we have stayed up. And looking at the recruitment side of things, we are going to have £39 million to take into the next window. Now, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, there's actually more than that. There's 42 million, but I don't know if that's enough to actually go and spend positively to keep us up into the Premier League. Let's go and look at the team, see what they've done. This is what they've done then. We'll go to in possession. We'll go and have a little look. So goal scoring wise, this is what you're going to get. So traditionally, in my rebuild experience, when you don't have a single player scoring 20 goals, it's a red flag. I always say I start to win league titles when I have 3 to 4 scoring 20 plus goals. We have 16, 16, 11 and 8. So we've only got 3 players scoring double digits. One of them being Arias, Larson and Hwang Hee-chan, the players that I said would all do quite well. Assist-wise, of course, 12, 12, 9, 8. It's okay. I mean, Doyle's out on loan, to be fair, so 9, 12 and 12. It's okay. It's not great. Our best player, he didn't play too many games. It would actually go to this man, who was the player who I didn't slate, but I said, you know, he is that left back, and he's obviously had quite a good season, 2 and 12. But if we just quickly filter this back by the role, we'll go and pick our best 11 on paper. It's not good enough. We need to now go and spend money. We've got 42 million to spend. I don't know how much I'm going to get for that money. I don't know who's going to want to join. The big positive is at least we've got conference football, because it's not Europa, it's not Champions League, but offering a player some form of European football is better than none. And the fact we have avoided the drop so much is really, really impressive to me. So let's go in to Season 2, our first transfer window controlled by me, which I'm pretty sure the Wolves fans will love because I will sign great players. And let's see what we can do, because there is still a lot to improve in this team. Obviously, that's the most obvious statement I have dropped this year. It's nowhere near good enough. We're now playing a European competition. I need players in quantity and quality. Obviously, we had this player coming in, didn't we? It is going to be the big man at the back who didn't have a bad Premier League season by any means of the imagination. But maybe I would have spent the money elsewhere, but it was already done. It was a fair bit of cash as well. Now, he comes in, obviously, in his second season, and we can't quite see what he has done yet. But what I will say is, it's definitely a player that he played okay. So I don't regret making the signing or them making the signing, but I do feel like maybe for that money, we could have got a better player. Who knows? Time's going to tell on that one. Now over to my first signing, Amari Hutchinson. That is right, a player that has been bouncing about clubs, and I've now got him at Wolves. He didn't have a great time at Forest last season in this save, and I'm going to try and save him. Now, he looks like a really, really good player. We'll talk about the price tags, you know, when we've gone over the whole window. We'll look at that screen then, but he is a really technically gifted player. He's versatile. He can play centrally and on the right. He's got the pace to do both. He's got the technical stats to do both, and he come in for me in the Premier League, and he actually contributed 19 goals, so a really, really, really good performance. And I've just seen there, we weren't actually just in the Conference League. We actually were in the Europa League, so what a move for him. And I liked my left back, but I wanted a competition and a hybrid player, so I picked up Nicolo Fortini. Now, he can actually play on the wing as well, but more importantly, he can play right back and left back. Probably prefers left back, to be honest with you. He comes in, doesn't do that great, to be honest. Not the best performance I've seen, but he's a player that I can back. He's 21 years of age, quite low demanding on the wage. Good on the ball, good crossing, good dribbling. He just is a really good hybrid player to welcome into this team that, to be honest, is lacking this sort of young, flexible approach. And that's what I'm going to try and fix. Now, when we look at the transfer window from a grand scheme of things, this is what we have done. Obviously, this signing was done. We then spent 48 million on Hutchinson and actually got the board to sign Fortini. We've got a couple of players here in Leonardo going out on the free, and this man here going out on loan, which, you know, I don't really care about too much, to be honest. But we have welcomed in a really good left back, a very, very, very good attacking player in Amari Hutchinson, and secured another centre-back that obviously was here. So it's 3 signings, 2 new faces, but 3 permanent signings, which I think lays a nice foundation down to say, do you know what? We are doing it right. And the main thing here, the board, they're quite satisfied. The supporters, they're happy. If they're happy, I'm happy. Can be simple, right? And we go right into that Europa League. And of course, it's like the Champions League. You play your league phase, you move on, and you see what you can do. Well, we don't move on because we have to go in to the knockout playoff round, which went a little bit like this. Well, of course we win it. A 6-1 win over Celtic. Probably one of the hardest teams, apart from Chelsea, we could have actually got here. So, you know, it is not an easy first game. The round of 16... Atalanta, again, not an easy team to play. We just about edged past them with a 2-1. I mean, it can't really get much closer than that. The quarterfinals, we play Rayo Vallecano, a 4-1 win, so a little bit more comfortable, but we need to appreciate right now, we have still got Chelsea in here, we've got Salzburg, and we've got Porto. Whoever we draw here is not going to be easy. Going into the semis, we drew Chelsea and beat them. Now, maybe that's because we play them a lot in England, we know how to beat them, we get that job done, and surprisingly, we play Salzburg instead of Porto. It's a me v Red Bull in the final. I might throw it. That is a joke. We do not condone match fixing here, but Salzburg are going to have a set piece in 22 minutes, and is anything going to come of it? It appears like it could do, and it does. We're 1-0 down in 22 minutes. Brilliant. Well, a Salzburg again in the 38th minute here with Beidou down the right. It's a good ball back stick. He's free, and we're going to go 2-0 down in 38 minutes. It is simply not good enough. This is a massive opportunity, potentially wasted here. Well, 78 minutes on the clock, and I think the best case scenario here is going to be a consolation. Doherty is going to start the final, who we still can't move on, by the way. Bellegarde drives it across. This should have been a penalty there, surely. Arias gets the goal, and unless a miracle happens, I don't know what's going to happen here. We've been awful all game, but at least it's a goal. Let's see what we can do. Well, the Salzburg in possession here, and they're going over the top. It's a poor ball. Strand Larsen into João Gomez, into Andre, into Doyle, back from loan. A beautiful chip ball over, into Doherty, down the right-hand side. 85 minutes on the clock. Ball inside, and it is going to be the equaliser, and surely, unless we bottle it, we're going to extra time. That is a big 10-minute comeback. Well, we might not need extra time, because we've got a highlight here, and we are going to win it in the 91st minute. Europa League winners. Which took a lot of pressure off the Premier League because we had Champions League anyway, but we get Champions League without winning the actual Europa League. We would have got it anyway. No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? I've gone crazy. I'm that excited. We got top 6 in the Premier League, so we wouldn't have got Champions League. We would have got Europa League, but we have got Champions League football because of the Europa League win. That explained very, very simply. Why did I stress? We are the best team in the league when it comes to defending, which is really good for a defensive version of a tactic. Jose Sarr, the most clean sheets, only 17 goals conceded compared to the rest. And once again, a very close Premier League table. We're talking about this time being, what, 5 points off the top 4? Not that it really matters for this season, because obviously we won the Europa League. Ipswich, Everton and Blackburn are going to be going down. And yeah, I mean, if we actually go and look at the season preview, we were predicted to finish in 10th. So we have massively overperformed there. We still have not got a single player in this team, and I've seen that City have signed Ousmane Dembele. Liverpool have signed Vitinha, which is quite interesting. Very, very interesting. But yeah, that's 2 big things already. Top 6 and a Europa League win. Beautiful. And once again, runners-up in an English Cup final. This time we lose against Tottenham, 3-1. But to get to that final, we must have earned it, obviously, and we do. We beat Villa in the semi-finals. Okay, Luton Town's not the hardest game to play. Yeah, a bit of an easier path to the final. It's a shame we couldn't win it, but I can't be too picky. I've just won a European trophy. And as for the FA Cup, well, it's going to be a Tottenham-Chelsea final, and one of them teams did knock us out. It is going to be Chelsea. A 2-1 win. So at the end of the day, I'm not too fussed because I'm looking at this right now. We are top 6 in the Premier League. We have won a European trophy. We're in a final of an EFL Cup, and I've only had one window to actually put an impact on this squad. So I'm not annoyed in the slightest, to be honest. Going over to the recruitment, we've got a budget of £69 million, up to 75, but more realistically around 60 to 62 because of the wages and all of that very, very annoying stuff that we have to deal with as football managers. Let's go and see what the actual team done, because I feel like we've done quite good this season. In terms of goals, there we go. We are going to have nearly 2 players with 20 goals. One does achieve it. One's very close. Hutchinson, 39 goal contributions. Strand Larsen, 30. You've got 24 from Arias. You've got Bellegarde there with 21. The attacking players are attacking. They're doing really, really good things. And this is exactly what I needed from my team to push me to that next level. And I could not be any happier with the progress that I'm making. We're looking at a team that, you know, is rock bottom of the Premier League. In the first season, we pushed ourselves to the absolute limits. We were in the top 7. I mean, that is a statement. Season 2, top 6, Europa League win, EFL finalists. I know it's not a win, but finalists. And the players are really buying in to this system. It is a real good start to this rebuild. Be sure to obliterate that like button and subscribe, because this is just the beginning. We're not even halfway through yet. Let's get into Season 3, go and spend our money, and I guess now we're aiming for a Champions League win and a Premier League win. Mental. But we have got one player to talk about that we're going to bring in. We've let a lot of players go out on loan which aren't really first team, so I'm not going to waste your time regarding that. But it is going to be Lucas Hogsberg coming in for 21 million. He's a really good versatile defender. Centre-back and right-back. I definitely needed a new right-back to replace Doherty, and he does okay. He doesn't do great. He drops like a 6.98 rating in the Premier League, but he's quite good because he's got the pace to play right-back. He's got the crossing, kind of, but it's because he can also play centre-back and left-back if needed, which is what I was attracted to, you know? He's also not too demanding on wage. He's got good potential in him. And he was quite obtainable. Not a big price tag. His price tag's actually doubled since what I paid for him. So we have made quite a good move here. I don't know if signing just one player was enough. That's what time's going to tell. Well, let me tell you about the Champions League, because this was the round of 16. That is right. We're right through to the round of 16, where we do beat Lazio 3-1 away in that game, and we beat them 3-0 at home. So already, what I've achieved, I'm buzzing with, okay? A round of 16 performance, which we win, meaning we go into the quarters in a sellout game against Barcelona, where we beat them 2-1 away from home and 3-1 at home. Dare I say, the possible might happen. Will it happen? I honestly don't know, because we match up against Tottenham in the semis. We are going to have a 2-1 win at the home game and a point or a draw at the away game, which means we go to the Champions League final against Manchester City, which we lose. Sadly, we lose 2-0, Marmoush and Bernardo Silva, and to be honest with you, it is going to be a game which, I'm going to say it, I think it could have went either way looking at those stats just from that little screen there. But a Champions League final in our first chance of being in that competition is really, really good. We also, of course, got a chance to play in the UEFA Super Cup because it is the Europa League winner versus the Champions League winner, and we do lose by 3-2. So, yeah, a couple of finals sort of lost, which is never a good feeling, but I'm actually still quite happy to be in them. This one weren't pretty, though. The FA Cup, I believe, was a third-round exit. It was. We lose to Derby County. Derby County. That is easily the worst exit we've had in this video from any competition. Premier League, we're on cloud 9 because we've got Champions League football again, and we lose the Premier League title purely off goal difference, and it is only 3 goal difference. So we are now, for the first time in Premier League history in this rebuild, we are being competitive for a Premier League title, and we really, really are. And we weren't the best at goals, possession, yellow cards, clean sheets, so it really was a team performance. Now, things couldn't really get closer amongst the top 4. Arsenal 74, Tottenham 79, Wolves and Liverpool 81. It was a very, 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 very tight season, but I could not be more happy because that gives me now 2 more years to build up this team to take it to them title contenders, and I think that can happen. It really can happen. Now, looking at the money side of things, we are going to have a budget of 75 million. In fact, we can go upwards of 168. We have got a lot of money to spend going into season 4, and yeah, of course, there's one competition that I left out. And that is going to be the Carabao Cup final. I mean, it's a trophy that I'd love to win, a trophy that I think is not going to be easy to win because we are playing Arsenal, and it appears like they've got an attack on their hands here inside of 7 minutes. And oh my days, this might be the third final loss of this one season, and that would, well, it would destroy my confidence. A little set piece of our own now, though. Inside of 28 minutes, Arias is going to put a ball in back stick. It's a bit of a dodgy clearance. Bellegarde's going to step up into Doherty, back into the middle, and we've equalised. 28 minutes, 1-1. This final is still very, very much alive. Another set piece, 3 minutes after. Hutchinson, been such a good player, a ball back stick, and he's leaped, and Doherty, the man who is still somehow at the club, has given us the lead. Maybe it's a sign we keep him. Another set piece, 56 minutes in. It's a bit, that's actually quite a good clearance from Zubamendi. Hutchinson down the right, into the centre-back, into Fortini, into Totti, out wide, into Doherty, who's actually been on fire this season, into Hutchinson, and it's gone in. A 3-1 advantage with 57 minutes on the clock. Please do not bottle this. I would love to win it. 89 minutes. A 3-1 advantage. Time wasting has been applied. Doyle, Gomez. It's a bit of a... That's a poor clearance. We've won the flick on. Saliba can't clear it either. João Gomez, tiki-taka. Doyle hits it. And it is going to be a 4-1 win. And it's another trophy going into the Wolverhampton cabinet. And that is right. We have won the Carabao Cup over Arsenal. We are runners-up in the Champions League and the Super Cup. We're runners-up in the Premier League. It is... a lot of runners-up medals being claimed here, but it does display a very good season. We are growing this team. We're doing such a good job at that. And if we look at the Premier League, for example, go back into here, go to the season preview, we were predicted to finish in 9th place. 50-1 odds of winning the Premier League. We still don't have a single player in the Dream 11, but we are doing really, really well. Do you want to know something that's actually quite painful for any Liverpool fans? Arne Slot is managing Man City. Not a nice feeling, is it? But let's focus on our team, what our team's done, what our team is doing. And there we go. 34, 25, 20, 15, 12. That's what I mean. We have got a lot of players contributing now, a lot of top quality players really putting in a shift. Hutchinson may be the player of the video so far. The fact he's come in and just said, right, do you know what, guys? This is my club now. I'm going to run things. Don't even stress. He has done that to a very high level. I could not be more proud of him, to be honest with you. And going into the 4th season, obviously with a little bit of a fire and a bit of a burning passion to dethrone Liverpool, I need to make sure we spend right. And I think that money still needs to be invested in the backline a little bit. You could argue in midfield to an extent, and you could also have the argument of goalkeeper and winger. So you can sit here and say any position. The team's overperforming compared to how good these players actually are. And one thing I'll say, because I didn't actually mention it, we are now at a point where I've decided to go from the defensive version to the normal version of the beta 4-3-3 tactic, because I think we have got it in this now. We can go more attacking. We're a bit more of an established team, and clearly we've proven that. So let's go into season 4 with quite a big amount of money to spend, and I've got to race this. I've got to race this now, because we can't afford to go from 2nd to then go back down to 8th. We need to keep this fire, this momentum, this drive, build on it, build on it, build on it, win. And that's exactly what I have done. I have gone big in this window. Sign-on one for 31 million, I believe, is going to be Matthias Fernandes. He comes in from West Ham. He was a really, really good Portuguese player. Another Portuguese player in the Wolves team. Of course, it's an absolute honour to do that. Now, he's still only 24. He's very well-rounded. He steps in for me in the Premier League. 6 goals, 8 assists, and drops a 7 rating. Now, he's a player that's been playing in the Premier League, so it was quite risk-free to sign him. But sometimes that's the best thing to do, is sign these risk-free players. Don't give yourself unnecessary risk. I'm trying to win the Premier League. Get people that are playing well in the Premier League to play for your team in the Premier League. I'm going down a bit of a sensible path. Well, at least for this one. This man comes in for 21 million. This is not a player from the Premier League, but he is a really good striker. He's got decent acceleration, decent pace. But what you're really getting here is a player with great finishing, great composure, great off-the-ball work. He's also got quite good passing, good technique, good stamina. He's a bit of just an all-rounder, to be honest with you. And he scores 16 goals and picks up 3 assists assists in his first season, dropping a 6.92, which adds another player to the roster of strikers we have got, and quite clearly, he's making a case for himself. And for 12 million, we are going to pick up Roger Ibanez, however you say it. He's a bit of an older player, but I feel like I need that title-winning experience at the back, and he's very experienced, you know. He's 30, 17 tackling, 17 heading, good pace, good acceleration, good jumping, good fitness, good aggression, good bravery, good determination. He is just a player towards the end of his career that has seen it all. You know, he's been at some decent clubs. I believe is what I need in the back line. I need a real leader who has, you know, seen it, done it, won it. I need that in this team, and players like him, I feel like he suits this quite well. And looking at the window we have just had, it's a great window. We've introduced a great midfield player, we've introduced a great striker, we've introduced a great centre-back, and this might be the final bit of the puzzle. The supporters are very pleased, the board are pleased, a £69 million spent out of 160, so we've been very sensible in terms of money as well. And I just feel like maybe, with these 3 new faces, I might be celebrating a Premier League this season. And I don't know that yet. Well, sadly, we were not going to be celebrating a Premier League. We are going to celebrate the most yellow cards, but we are not going to celebrate it as Tottenham have really kicked into gear now. They are the best team in the Premier League, so this is not what I was expecting. I was at least expecting to be in second place. We have dropped a position, and it means that next season, we still have got it all to do. So we have got one last roll of that dice to make it happen, and we simply weren't good enough. It's a very simple fact to understand, and one that's not nice to admit sometimes in life, but we're not good enough. It's as simple as that. What else can I say? And that staggers on into the FA Cup because, again, humiliation right now. We go to the 5th round. You won't believe who we lost to. We lost to Millwall. So this team are clearly not at the races this season. Again, the EFL Cup, we won this last year. We go out against Arsenal, who are a very good team, but again, such an early exit. And that leaves now the Champions League, and the only way that I'm not going to be disappointed is if I get to another final, which is such a big ask. Which, of course, we don't do, as Barcelona are going to win it. Semi-finals, we're not going to be in the semis. Quarter-finals, we lose against Real Madrid, which is not actually like something that I'm embarrassed about because it's Real Madrid. But when you actually factor in all of this, we have got worse in the Premier League, awful in the FA Cup, got worse in the EFL Cup, worse in the Champions League. Of course it's going to sting. It's not going to feel nice. And once again, looking at the schedule, a lot of it come down to not how we started, but how we ended. I mean, look at this. It is a sea of red and yellow. We simply couldn't hack it towards the end of the season. And of course, as to be expected, the goals dropped. Now, that was quite common sense because what we done last season was absolutely exceptional, hence why we finished second. The goals have dropped massively, and now it's honestly making me think, have I developed this team as well as what I thought I have done? I mean, assist-wise, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players with 10 plus assists. So I can't really complain about the players providing. It's coming from every area of the pitch. But what I can complain about is the goal output overall. And my head's now all over the place because I've got one more season to win a Premier League, and I get quite harsh on myself when it comes to these because I really want to make it happen. And so far we've done well. We've won a Carabao Cup, we've won a Europa League, you know, we've got several, you know, we've had a Champions League final performance, several cup final appearances, but I always want that next best thing, and for me, the Premier League is where this video would be ticked off and cemented. And yeah, it's a lot of pressure going into the last window, and that's why I always say, don't assume these rebuilds go in a nice, organised format of, you know, coincidentally, we win everything right at the end, because sometimes we don't, and this path has now been broken. It's been broken. Well, I've spent quite big. I've gone quite rogue, actually, because we are going to pick up Mark Burnout for 47 million, just to add, I'll say, a world-class player into this midfield. I want to go hard in this last season. I spent every penny I had, and I've maximised it to the point where if I don't win now, I will sit here on camera and say, do you know what, guys? I got this last window wrong, because I've gone very big. I've spent big. I've gone, you know, the full extra mile. And this player is an absolute dream to have in the Premier League. And at Wolves, well, pinch me. Simply pinch me. 31.5 million. We are going to sign Jan Virgili, I believe. He comes in, 9 goals, 8 assists, a 7.09 average rating. Great dribbling, great first touch, decent composure, good acceleration, good pace, good flair, good technique. 7 things that I like about him. I absolutely love it. The downside, bit bad on the old weak foot, but his actual strong foot is as strong as it can get. So we love to see that. Can play on the left, can play on the right. An absolute joy to work with, and a player that I honestly can see myself hopefully getting the most out of. He's still only 23. 33 million, we are going to welcome in a goalkeeper, which is so risky for the last season because it can mean all of our progress goes like that if he was to flop. Now, he's a young goalkeeper, he's 26. A lot of money for a goalkeeper who I've never heard of, 33 million. He does drop a 6.86 in the Premier League and a 7 in the Champions League. So I think he's done okay, but I honestly can't give you an answer yet. Well, we start off in the FA Cup where we are going to be matched with a little less disappointment as we get to a further stage, but still not ideal as we lose to United on penalties, which is never a nice way to go out of what's going to be the last year of this competition. And if we look at the past winners, it is something we have actually not won. This entire rebuild, we won't be winning that. Well, as we also go out of the EFL Cup, on penalties against Newcastle. You can't really get much more unlucky than that, you know? I mean, this is something we have won. Of course, we won it once in 2027. I would have liked to have won it a couple of times, but that simply won't happen now. That's guaranteed. The Champions League, we don't make it into the final, but we do make it in to the semi-final, where we do get battered by Juventus. But to be fair to us, we've always been quite good in this competition. A 6-1 win over Club Brugge, a 3-1 win over Benfica. The league phase, you know, we're in the top 8, so we've not done bad in the Champions League, despite not winning it. We've got to a final. We've been quite consistent. And now everything goes all onto that Premier League, doesn't it? Literally everything. And we do it. We win the Premier League, but I tell you what, it's not done in a nice way. We win the Premier League here by actually 3 goal difference. Now, I'm not going to feel bad because we lost a title by 3 goal difference against Liverpool, I think. So karma is can't say the word, but that is proof that karma exists. I mean, we win by 3 goal difference, and do you know what? I am almost happier we've done it because we've got our revenge on them. Now, to be honest with you, there has been some... I mean, look at that for a game there. Arsenal beat Villa 8-0 on these last few games. You know, Liverpool, they got beat by City. That is definitely helping because City have got a top team but didn't have a great season, so that helped out quite a fair bit. It was a bloodbath right until the end. Now, the big question is, did we get any of the players in here? We didn't. We did not get a single player in the Dream 11. Maybe I was overthinking that was even possible, but that is going to be a very successful rebuild in my opinion. As we go to the recruitment, if you are going to carry this on back home, you are going to have a budget of £177 million. You are going to have a team that looks like this on paper. You are going to have an absolute incredible team to play with. You're going to have players that are scoring, still not record-breaking goals, but for the names that you see, you know, like Brohanson, Hutchinson, Bernal, Virgili, they are performing throughout their skin. So your challenge from me to you is to go and win the Champions League. That's what I want to see you do. It's not an easy challenge. It will definitely not be easy. That is your challenge set. Best of luck. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment below what you want to see next. Whack the sub bell on. And make sure you do go and check out the Patreon because we have got 2 Patreon-only tactics weekly. All my rebuild files, tactics, the whole shebang, all goes on there. And yeah, there is a massive giveaway going on as well, which I'll let you go and figure out what that is. I'll catch you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.